We're starting up.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. We are joined here today with the team of New York Raw and Female First Florida, teaming up to give you a presentation on the importance of lesbian leadership. Say hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi there.
What's up?
What's up, everybody?
My guests Jen and Poonam and
From
SASHA.
New York. Yep.
And of course, we all know me.
Yes.
So
We all know you.
I want to talk about how this team formed. You know, like both our teams kind of like formed from TERF Pride, my first event when it came down.
Great. Can I speak? May I speak? Do I have the forum, Robert's
Talk
rule?
about your group. Talk about New York Raw. Let them know.
I'm gonna start like this. I'm not gonna start like that. I'm gonna start like this. So BF 555 decided to have TERF Pride in the bluest of blue, as she imagined it, NYC, and I don't know how we got connected, but I jumped on that and I said, yes, I'll be there. And I was unable to be there, but I was definitely part of the formation. And because of that formation, I met so many New York women, which I've been trying to do for a couple of years now, you know, since I got peaked. So for me, it's been a real blessing. And I started ROAR, and we've had meetings amongst radical women, radical feminists, lesbians, and we're open to all women. And we are dedicated to making real change happen for real people. I mean, like not just talking the talk. We make stickers, and that's all I have to say. But thanks, VF. Not
stickers.
All for now.
No, I heard about your events, and they went great. You had like picnics and stuff.
Jen will tell you.
Okay, Jen, you got the mic.
We had 2 picnics, and both times were great. I was happy to connect Poonam with women that I had already met.
Yes.
Some of them came from TERF Pride.
They're from the Backbone group, associated with the zine Backbone. Yeah, that's the one good thing about me is I bring different people together if I can, and I'm happy to see that happen. So
I think there's at least a few other good things about you, Jen. We'll get to them.
We'll get to the list, okay? SASHA, she was going to join us for TERF Pride, but unfortunately, she's going to have to make it next year.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But we are taking charge of Female First Florida. We've already had our first, meetup. We're going to have our big event, and for Halloween, we're going after Gallagher.
Right. And I'll represent ROAR at that Gallagher event. And I mean, I'm thinking, what if I get everybody to get in my car and we come down, a couple of people? But that might happen, that might not happen, or I might just take a flight. It's easier on me, physically, because I am a disabled person. Not that you can, guess that right away, but yeah. So it, like the driving has become difficult. However, I will do it for the right reasons, and if there's other drivers, that's a possibility.
I have my license.
Throwing it out there, Jen.
We should all do it.
Throwing it out there. Women who love women will lead us. Yes.
Period.
Because there's nothing womanier than a lesbian.
And also, that's for sure.
And also, like, I don't think that people realize that when lesbians establish certain boundaries, or like when lesbians get something that benefits us, whether it's on the Jesus Christ,
whether it's on our
landscape, the social landscape, or the political landscape, all women benefit. All women benefit when lesbians thrive, because the lesbian is
That's
the pinnacle of the female condition. So it's like when that's why we've had so many issues within the feminist movement, because we allowed TRAs to come in and kind of remove the context of lesbians from feminism.
They took our voice. Like, they kicked us out. They came over and they were like, "We're the new lesbian voice."
I want to talk about that a little bit.
We're definitely going to.
I want to talk about that a little bit because I grew up in the 70s, so I'm a little bit older, and just a little bit. And in the 90s, when they started the word queer, that's when I should have, like, something inside of me was like, but I was
wrong.
I was seduced by the idea of inclusivity. That's a very powerful word. They use these words that are subliminally designed to attract us. There we go.
Yeah,
That's me in the 90s. That's not me in the 90s.
I was just telling BF before we went live that it's really rare when I even come across lesbians. Like, most of the women I've hung out with and done work with were bisexual or straight, and it's just like, I just have to wonder, where are all the lesbians? And
unfortunately, it's been captured in our
it's like
community.
it's so rare when I find one, even though we're all lesbians here, right? But
right, we're lesbians leading this way, our own groups.
Well, see, the thing is, we're approaching another time, another moment in time where being a lesbian is like the worst thing you can be. Like, right now, the worst thing you can be is a lesbian. And we're seeing like all this different rhetoric, and they're calling women TERFs, and they're calling women all of these things that they're trying to convince women are all negative. And so women don't want that negative association, because social ramifications in society are worse for women than any other. Like, it's worse for women than it is for men. So, when someone says a man is shitty, people expect that. When someone says a man has done something wrong, people expect that. And they pacify him and they coddle him. But when a woman does something wrong, she's supposed to know better. She's supposed to be accepting. She's supposed to be tolerant, and all these different things that don't serve female interests. So what happens is women end up being pushed to the sidelines once again. And it's doubly true for lesbians.
I will take what you said earlier about when things are good for lesbians, they're good for women, and say when things are bad for lesbians, they're horrible for all women. This whole thing about it's what is the word? Misogyny. It's misogyny. So
you're controlling us.
You're dealing. Okay, I just heard that there's a hospital in London that wants to take away the gynecological ward, the word women's health, and they want to replace it with this colposcopy clinic, which is like the kind of like it's a procedure that's done. It's just this one procedure that's done on women. So they're removing the word women away because there is a great amount of hatred for women in our society and fear of women in our societies around the world. I'm from India in my heritage. And so like we thought gay rights had come a certain way. We thought women's rights had come a certain way, but they hadn't really. They had not really. They had not.
They've gone backwards. I mean, we went from you can be anything you want to be to, if you want to be anything, you have to be a man. You have to pretend to be a man, at least,
If you're not constantly performing femininity, then it's not you have to be. You are a man, or you're a bigot.
Oh yeah, there's your choices. I think that's why the lesbian community got so captured, because they got sold the idea that they could be men, literally become men.
Agreed.
The patriarchy.
And we went from the fact that lesbians are not female men to lesbians will ultimately become men. And I think that's the saddest part, because lesbians are one of the most unique demographics of women that are out there. And the most liberating thing for me, because like when I was growing up, there was no pride. Like you didn't have like parades and all that kind of stuff like that. You didn't have like recognition or lesbian visibility day. It was like you got called slurs and rocks thrown at you in the street. Like it was not the way it is today. And so me being able to, not knowing what to call myself at the time, and being able, finding out that I can call myself a lesbian and I can be a lesbian, and there's nothing wrong with that. Have like seeing younger generations not have access to that is so sad to me.
I agree. What about you, Jen? I mean, what's your experience with the word lesbian? You were saying that you don't see them anywhere. How did you come to know yourself as a lesbian?
Well, a few years back, when I was still drinking, I would go out to straight, like, regular bars, and I'd black out, and then horrible things would happen to me. I would allow men to do whatever. And, I was sick of that. So I was like, where are the lesbian bars? So I go and I find Henrietta Hudson, and I finally feel at home there. There's women, but as I'm talking to them, none of them are calling themselves lesbians, really. Like it was just every word but, and the pronouns, and like I was like, what is all this? Like I was like, this was all new to me. And I guess I identified at the time because even I sort of cringed at the word lesbian. Like I was sort of open to the word queer because it could mean anything you want it to. And how I finally came and embraced lesbians was when I got into radical feminism. When I used to watch a lot of videos about trans people and following their transitions and stuff, and then all of a sudden detransitioner videos would show up, and then I would notice that these detransitioners were talking a lot about feminism, and it just struck me like, why does this person who looks like a man talking about feminism a lot? And then all the Magdalene Burns videos started popping up, and Kathy Brennan. And so that's how I was like, finally, there's a language for all this stuff that I had been wondering about for a long time. But I'll never forget when I was day drinking at Henrietta Hudson's one day, a patron all of a sudden blurts out, "Where have all the butches gone?" And the bartender replied to her, "Trans is the new butch." So
no, that is so wrong.
That's very wrong, but I have to tell you that
it has its own thing.
In 2009, I was there in a sense because I was doing this thing. I was thinking about a continuum of femme butch, kind of thing. And now that is a continuum possibility. Not the genders, there are two genders, but femininity and masculinity, that's the continuum. And lesbians can have a whole combination of that. I could be very, we used to say butch in the street and femme in the sheets, or reverse, and then there was a word called kiki, which was andro, kind of in the middle, and I kind of identified with that, right. But then this thing came along, queer, again, and I was hoodwinked, and I call it the Trojan horse that came in and snuck into, and then pulled out a great big umbrella and said, everybody come here under this umbrella, and we kumbaya, and we are all one. When I already knew that gay men could be as misogynist as anybody else, and that and a lot of lesbians have internalized,
misogyny and homophobia. Yeah,
and homophobia. So what we did what we did is we not only let the wolves into our safe spaces, but we gave them the freaking key, or they took the key, or they made a key, and they said, now we have a key and I've got it.
They
You know,
copied the key for themselves.
crazy
They changed the locks on us.
Yeah, my friend Amber went that Jen met in our first picnic. She had gone to a lesbian meetup, you know, but it was a women's dating thing. I think it was lesbian dating, and everybody there called themselves queer woman, or
Non-binary.
Anything but lesbian.
anything but lesbian, and she was the only one who called herself a lesbian. And I was just, and she came to me and she was shocked. She was like, Poonam, I don't understand. She says, Poonam, I don't understand this.
I saw some comments a while back that said TERF. Someone was saying TERFs are the reason why no one wants to identify as lesbians anymore.
Because TERF means lesbians. I mean, it's so simple.
Why would somebody not want to be a lesbian? Well, I disagree.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's because first of all, most people still don't know what a TERF is.
Right, because they call anyone who's gender critical a TERF, and that's the problem.
No,
but I actually disagree. It's the gender agenda that's why no one wants to. Because if you do publicly come out as a lesbian, then you're a bigot.
Right.
You're a bigot.
No.
They want to erase the context of female homosexuals, and you see this all the time, where they're like, "Oh, well, you don't want to be a TERF, do you?" There's always that threat of like, "Oh, okay, well, you know, there's social ramifications if you want to call yourself that."
You can't host a speed dating event. You can't have an organization for women. It's always taken over by some dude who's paid to be there and talk over lesbians.
Exactly. And the thing is, the thing is about this whole queer thing, it's a political ideology. Just like how you never see, like you'll never see a non-binary Republican, you'll never see a queer Republican, you'll never see a queer libertarian, you'll never see a non-binary libertarian. Like you don't see that because it's a liberal political ideology. And the thing is, it was created to pacify women so women stop asking for things. It's created so women stop asking for political representation. It's created so women stop asking for financial representation, because what they can do is they can get these quote unquote, these men who identify as women or non-binary and have them sit at the table and say, see, you're represented. And that way they don't have to bargain with women, and they don't have to talk to women, and they don't have to give women any political representation. Or it's a whole way to pacify women, to erase us from the public context.
Absolutely.
You ever heard of gays against groomers?
Yes.
Yes.
There's a lot of conservative gays and trans and all kinds of people there. And
well, that is basically
you'll see. Okay, this is the thing. The gay Republicans, they'll be true trans. They'll be like, oh, I'm male or female. You'll never see like non-binary. You'll never see like these macro identities. You'll never see neo-pronouns. You'll never see Republicans or conservatives or libertarians or other, because it's a political thing.
All right, I'm going to take this in a different direction a little bit, okay? Way back a couple of decades ago, they started talking about angry women, okay? Angry women. And women were, it goes way back actually a long time ago, to the hysteria of women, you know? And I think that people have clutched onto that and thrown that at feminists, of course, and then at TERFs, but more than anything at lesbians. A lesbian is a man hater, straight out of the gate. A lesbian. Why doesn't a lesbian take a man? Because a lesbian hates men, not because she loves women. Because it's got to be all about the man all the time.
Always
So
there you
go. I can do two things at once.
Huh?
I can do two things at once. I can hate men and love women at the same time. Damn it.
Period.
Yeah, but it's more my love for women than my hate.
Of course, that's what makes me a lesbian. Duh.
Yeah, that makes me a lesbian. And the men can't stand that it has nothing to do with them. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Of all the people that misogyny goes striking its arrow at, it's the lesbians through their fact that they
We're
absolutely
disturbing
do
men.
not-
I mean, that's the
Yeah,
only
men.
reason.
Yeah,
But here's the thing: lesbians are the demographic that everything gets tested on first, right? So anytime there's gonna be some kind of social implementation, or like some kind of experiment that they're going to implement, like to disrupt female politics. They're gonna test it on lesbians first. Look at Mitch Fest. Look at what happened to Mitch Fest, and it's not an accident. They do this so that women they know that, okay, if we get to the lesbians, then we can get to women.
If we could control the lesbians, but I don't know why the lesbians all got seduced with that "you could be men" thing.
Well, see, here's the thing. Lesbians.
Yeah, go ahead.
Lesbians have more, like, we have more empathy, and we have more, like, we know that we're pretty much a lone group, and so what they do is they leverage like emotional terrorism against women. And so when they do that, they're like, oh, okay, well, don't you feel bad for this group here? Don't you want to help them? Don't you think you can do something to improve their condition in the world? And lesbians will go back, well, you know what? Yeah, because think about how we interacted with gays in the 80s when they were going through the AIDS crisis, right? Like, lesbians were there where nurses wouldn't even touch gay men because they were scared that they would get.
I'm so glad you know that, because so many people don't even know that.
I'm going to read about
houses, partying, getting their AIDS, and then we were there giving up our lives to nurse them through. It's pretty sad.
Yes, and it's like lesbians don't get a lot of the credit for how we've pioneered so many different movements. But yeah, so like that when they did the AIDS crisis, like what a lot of people don't know is that at the time lesbians were advocating for political representation, and that, I'm not saying like gay men's condition was a distraction, but it was they leveraged it against lesbians. So that lesbians had this focus, like, okay, well, we have to take care of our gay brothers. We have to take care of our community, and like we have that maternal responsibility where we're always trying to take care of every other group but ourselves, and they know that, and so they leverage that against lesbians, and that's what this is right now.
Lesbian leadership. We need to lead ourselves in the right direction,
and we also need to take into account our own interests, because like if we look at the history of women's movements, we're always prioritizing all of these other groups, and we're leaving our own interests behind. So like
let's name names. Let's name names now. NOW, the National Organization for Women.
Traitors, huge traitors.
Absolutely. I volunteered for them when I was about 27 or 8 when I first came into New York, or 26, and I immediately felt the hostility. We don't want this to become like a lesbian organization. We don't want this to be don't say lesbian. Don't be lesbian. Okay, be women. And then of course the women issues were very bougie, and I have to say very white. But in whatever, lesbian, no, you're completely out. And as far as that's now, and just the way human rights campaign is captured, now is captured, all the women's organizations.
They used to build it, and then they kick us out.
Yep.
Yeah, we open the doors and they kick us out, just like the Q and the T. They're not cuties.
You've seen that they tried to take out the L already. They're totally erasing it because they don't even want us to exist anymore.
Yeah. But here's the thing, right. We're making our organizations, and our organizations are making real people come together and have real effect on real lives. Like the LGB organization in London recently helped this woman, her name is Watson, Jenny Watson, and she had a lesbian dating group.
I'm interviewing her next.
Yeah. Oh, you are.
Yes.
Okay. You're going with. Okay, it's Jenny Watson that you're interviewing, because there are several. Because in New York, they were told you cannot be trans exclusive. I mean, we're not being trans. It's the same thing. We're not excluding men. We're embracing women. We're not hating men. We're loving women.
I don't think you needed to make that disclaimer. In fact, there's nothing wrong with hating it.
We don't need a disclaimer, but that's their attack. So
How long we don't give a fuck?
So the LGB recently won with Kate. What's Kate's last name? Barker. Kate Barker of the LGB helped Jen Watson get through and back into the bar and back to the mixers.
They sued because they are actually legally protected to have GCVs over there.
Mm-hmm,
Thank goodness.
And that's what we need. We need to actually put ourselves out there, make something happen, let them come at us, and then say, oh, no, sorry.
That's why we have TERF Pride. That's why we have our lesbian run groups. So we can.
And that's why we're going to have going against Gallagher.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, who cuts up more little lesbians than Gallagher? Nobody. Nobody's,
but
more enemy to lesbians than Gallagher.
Yeah. I think that I want like Roar, which is the New York City group, to really try to stick to womanly organizing, and that's why I started with picnics, so that people get to know each other deeply. This is something that technology also, and like this very male. I feel like the 21st century is very male. It's a dick.
No.
You spoke about doing an action of some sort in November.
Yes, I did.
Or should we not talk about that here?
Well, no. But what I want is the action to come from all of us, from what we're living and what we're seeing and what we think is important. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. We have to have a direction for us to go in. Like, you have an idea.
Yeah, I mean, and then of course I have my ideas about what the action should be. I really want to go. I don't want to say it right now, but Jen, if you have a thought on that, I'm happy to hear it.
Okay.
Hi, who's that?
My mother.
Hi. Hi, Jen's mom.
Curious about. No, she hates all this stuff, actually.
But we love mothers. we love mothers, not birthing persons.
Your mother's a TERF, whether she knows it or not.
I mean, she appreciates it when they're talking about it on Fox News, but when it's coming out of me, it's like crazy.
Well,
so come out of Fox News, man, but not from lesbian daughter. I get it.
What is? You wanted my thoughts on an action? Yeah. You said something about having kind of like a speaker's corner.
Yes.
Okay.
But wouldn't we need like a microphone and like equipment and a permit and stuff like that? Or
we didn't need it.
For me, I wouldn't worry about a permit. I have equipment if you need it.
Yeah.
So if you're ever organizing something, then hit me up because I have tons of supplies from activism over the years, and me personally, I know y'all might want to do things the right way, but I personally do not worry about permits because they're never going to give women permission to speak. They're not going to give us anything unless we take it. Like, we have to take it.
And also, if you give a permit, it's a heads up to the trans community that they come because there are a lot of people on all kind of places that are down with a program. So I like what you're saying. SASHA, right? SASHA? Did I say your name right?
They go, uh-oh, here comes the women.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
So
they go, uh-oh, here comes. Yes, you did. That's the main thing.
I think there needs to be like 20 or 30 of us, I think. If that's possible.
Let's not wait for a minimum.
You have time for November to build up your group.
We're building our group, and whoever will come, even if it's just you and me and your mom, or your brother or whoever. But listen, the important thing is we are going to only let women speak.
Find some people.
What's that? Sash, you're officially being hit
I can definitely find some people. Like, if y'all need numbers.
Yeah. Well,
all right, bet. Let me know a date.
Yeah. In November, I went to Let Women Speak in Philadelphia, and several women from there, I know, and I know women from Let Women Speak, Kelly J. Keen's thing in New York. The problem is not that the women are there, but that the women come together. And I think when we meet each other, like in picnics and through writing and through other things, we have more ties to each other to show up for each other. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It becomes real. We become
And
real people.
a lot of the women that I know aren't really. They rather do things that are like anonymous and quiet. Like they don't really. A lot of them are afraid of like their losing their jobs and stuff like that. So they don't even like taking pictures. Like we're not even doing anything political. They don't even want their picture taken or put on social media. Like we're not even holding any signs or anything.
They can come totally masked up, like
yeah, we're mask up. The TRAs and Antifa does that. I don't care.
Right.
Mask up and speak. You can mask up and speak. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to judge you. I don't judge anybody. Everybody's got to pay the bills. Everybody's got to pay their bills.
No, but it's actually a theme for Gallagher because it's going to be Halloween. So you can dress up like Jason or anything.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how to do makeup.
Well, I don't know. What are you trying to be?
I want to be a monster.
Well, which kind? We can make
you might say I don't need makeup for that.
It's wake up in the morning, Poonan. You're scared the truths away somehow.
I'll be a big bad lesbian.
If you want to scare them away, dress up as the truth, because that'll scare them.
Oh, she's a poet. She's a poet. You're a poet.
Rock star. That's SASHA there. You don't know.
That's good. I like that. Hey, I came up with a new sticker idea. Okay. No E in quotes. What was it? No E in quotes equal no E in quotes plus XY equals XX. You get it?
It's gonna take me a minute to get that.
I need to see it.
It's like no external estrogen plus a XY person leads to a XX person.
I think it's too much math. You're complicating things.
Oh my God, I love math. Okay, I'll do it by myself.
My dream is that one day we'll have like an Occupy Wall Street version of TERF Pride.
That's my fucking dream.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you got two dreamers here.
That is my dream.
Like camped out.
We need a really serious.
I went to Occupy Wall Street. It was fun. But I didn't sleep there.
Yeah, I went to Occupy Wall Street.
It was interesting. There was people of all different political backgrounds.
On my channel, you can see Occupy Wall Street, the fashion edition, the music edition. Yeah. But by the way, please, people, come to my channel, Not in Your Head Lesbian, and like and subscribe, which I never say in any of my videos. But I think if that's an objective that we can get other groups to share, we can make it happen. We can have like a sleep in, or like, they had sit-ins. We could have a sleep in. Yes.
Well, I wanted to take over with TERF Pride, make it a whole weekend thing in July. Why not take the whole month and just whatever we want to do?
And all of us will be topless with like paint on our nipples.
No.
That's what you want to do. That's
maybe not that. Not that.
Maybe
but
not that.
Well, that's what was happening at Occupy Wall Street.
And if you do that, I will not stop you, but I will ensure that there are people around to protect you, because I did that once. As soon as the law passed in New York, I took my shirt off in a park, and before you knew it, there were like 8 guys all around me.
We're not trying to make another version of Pride.
You know how in the past feminists were burning bras?
Yeah.
We should burn binders.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Great idea. Finally. Now your mind's
I had my feminine days where we were doing like the topless activism, and I do have to say, like, the scroll creatures are a problem. They are a problem, and I want to avoid them as often as possible.
Yeah.
You do not get them away from you by shaking your tits at them. Sorry, that's not going to work.
And not
Well,
only
even
that,
still,
they don't appreciate the breast for what the breast really is. They look
Right.
at it.
they want porno breasts.
Their porn-addled brains cannot appreciate the beauty that is a breast. You know, for them, it's just something for them to suck on till their dick gets hard. Sorry for my language, but it's not womanly, and I'm not about it. I'm not. So that's kind of like reflecting the progress that I've made over the decades in my sexuality too, is that you have to understand the very difference between men and women, and between misogyny and women-centeredness, you know?
Yes. And it's also, we want
Somebody from Brighton, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I think that we should go for a more militant kind of appeal. Oh, I get it. Estrogen in XY does not make a woman. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Estrogen.
But yeah,
I could make it like not math and say it like that. Estrogen in XY does not make a woman. Yeah.
Period. But yeah, I think we should go for a more militant appeal, because women are craving that. They're craving like a force that will defend them, and we don't have that. And also, it's just me because
we should bring back the pussy hats.
No, I think we should bring back helmets. Like, bring back.
Yeah.
I have a pretty good helmet, actually.
Pussy helmets.
That looks badass.
Pussy helmets. Yeah. I'm down with that.
I'm developing an international women's army, and I think that we need to encourage more women to be militant, period. Because we cannot keep compromising with a demographic that does not have our interests at heart. We are always going to be the ones that end up compromising. So we can no longer do it. We have to let them know, like, listen, this is no longer a debate. Either you give us what we want, or this will happen, or X will happen. I'm not gonna say
what do we want.
My good sis channel removed, but y'all can fill in the blanks.
Here's the thing, there's always been that tug of war between violence, nonviolence, and I don't care. You're gonna have to do what it takes to get what you need, and that's all I have to say on that subject. But I don't necessarily want to start out at 150,000, tons of something, when I can, do it more gradually. And I do definitely think, like Kelly J. Keene, who's on the screen right now, who I met in Philadelphia and did not meet in NYC. She, she's starting an international women's party to go into politics and grab seats. Now, I don't care about that, because I don't think politics. I think politics is a dirty game, and I don't believe in politics.
It is. But here's the trick.
More power to that.
Politics is a disgusting game, but here's the trick. Women are the only special interest group that doesn't have a political caucus to represent our interests. We're the only social group that doesn't have a lobby that works in our favor. So we have to have things on multiple fronts. Like, yes, politics is a dirty game, but we need.
Good point. Sorry, good point. That's a very good point.
We definitely need to unite and have political power. We have to have our own,
and we have to
go after the rapists and pedophiles. Men are not doing this. Come on, we need to actually start doing it for ourselves.
Here's the thing, too. We need to have radical feminist women, not just women, but radical feminist women who represent our interests. We need them in education, we need them in politics, we need them in finance, and we need them in agriculture. Those are the four main categories that if we have these women, we will succeed.
We're cultivating that now, Sasha, as we speak. We're cultivating that now as we speak.
The time is now. We have to promote it and elevate each other. I mean,
we have to promote, elevate each other.
And it's like, I've been, oh shit, what's going on?
I think maybe this argument is waking a lot of women up, but maybe not enough women, because there's still so many women on the other side.
Yeah. Kitty Kane says.
Well, see,
so
this is the thing. We don't need.
Go ahead.
We don't need a bunch of women. We just need a few strong women. We need a few influential women. And if we have that, we have everything. Because the problem, right, the historical problem is that we've been greedy for numbers and we haven't been focused on ideological purity, and it allowed liberal feminism and all the other things that are against our interests to take place and form within feminism. So if we have that ideological purity and we have the women who are representing this ideological purity be influential, and they're influencing these younger generations of women, then we already have the numbers. As long as those few women, as long as they're influential and as long as they have that cohesion and ideological purity, we have it, period.
Yeah, we have to be losing shit. We gotta stop giving away everything to have more numbers. No, we have to be stronger and harder on our interest.
We have to have filters.
Because if we foster an environment,
we have to have filters. The bigger your no, the yesier your yes. So we have to be able to say no to, who is that Gloria Steinem lady? Sorry, Gloria, we don't want to be part of Ms. Magazine. No, thank you, because you sold out 1,000,000 years ago. You know. So we don't want to be. We don't need
right.
you know, ABC, NBC, or Fox, or we need ourselves. We are the people we've been waiting for. That's a song by Sweet Honey in the Rock. I'm not going to sing it. Thank you.
And that's why we need to start fostering environments too where women can become radical. Because when I started getting involved in activism, the TRAs were fostering environments where people would ultimately become sympathetic to their cause. We need to have that same thing for radical feminism.
Yes.
We need that.
Yes. And what would you say that looks like?
I would say we need summits, we need camps, we need music festivals, we need activist groups, we need like to have little local parties or little book clubs or bookstores or whatever. Because I'm actually working right now on opening a radical feminist bookstore in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I shouldn't have said that, but you know what? Whatever. It's going to happen. And that's going to be one of the main environments to help foster more radical feminist attitudes amongst women. Period.
I can't think of a single woman's bookstore that's left in the country. If anybody knows of one, please put it in the comments. We're having a lot of comments. And we will all be happy to gather and help you, Sash, get your bookstore together, just as we'll be happy to do something like Occupy Wall Street or go against Gallagher. And we have to build those real life bridges. We cannot be, like some kind of ethereal, like just like behind our keyboard, like
we need more boots on the ground.
Period. We do, and it's like I get it, because there really are like real life consequences for being a radical feminist in public. But we need more women who are willing to be like, listen, all right, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go to the Capitol building, we're storming the mayor's office, blah blah blah. Like if more women start seeing this, more women are gonna have more positive attitudes towards like, they're not like the incels who are sitting around complaining like they're trying to do something.
We need to
like there's a lot of women doing great things behind the scenes, writing papers, right, arguing on the internet, and right. That's great and all, but I mean, I don't really do much. I don't really do much myself. I don't write papers really. I don't study a bunch of books about it. But I show up places. I show my face.
Yeah.
I can hold a sign. It takes just a little bit of effort. I guess it's a good thing I don't have a great job that I'm worried about losing.
Ditto.
I mean, I'm a carpenter, so I never have to worry about like losing because I could just go to another construction company or whatever, and because there's a shortage in Florida, so like, as long as I don't do anything egregious, then I'm pretty much good. I can say whatever the fuck I want to.
Linda Law in the comments says you need to go to the local group, agree with her, You need to go to school boards. You need to go to and
And
we're
counsel, she's
lesbian.
right. She's right.
And, yeah, and we
How
need to
great would it be? Wouldn't it be great if we were allowed to go into classrooms
any
and tell
council
kids what we think is right? And
or into
No
hospitals
facts.
and give
Listen to the
our
facts.
listen. The freaking TRAs are going into hospitals and saying how the people should what is it, affirm their people. Why don't we go into hospitals and say how it is to affirm, like women,
Why?
like and stop erasing womanhood? But anyway, I got a little out of you're out of order. Okay.
how long are we going on here for?
Ever.
I think we need to be.
Because I might have to go soon. So
Okay. Anyone who
Yeah,
needs
I'm gonna have to go in
go.
about 15 minutes because I gotta
Okay,
make this trip.
We're wrapping this up. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
think to start
All
off?
right. Wait. Can I make a rule up? Everybody who's
Maybe.
leaving, give us a 5-minute warning. Okay. So
Okay.
that way, if we have any last urgent
I think
questions,
I'll leave by 7 o'clock.
it is now
Okay, that's
6.
perfect for me. Like 1 hour's great.
Yeah, I'm out at 7.
I think we should do like monthly. We should get together and do different members of our new groups.
Yes. Yes.
This one is our lesbian focused event.
It would be great to get Colleen on here,
I
even
would
though
love it.
she's not a lesbian though.
No, that's the next one.
Can I interject? We have 15 minutes, and I just want to tell everybody what I'm going to be doing with Roar. And everything I do is for Roar and for Not in Your Head Lesbian. But I'm going to be meeting with Paula Scanlon, not one-on-one. She's going to have a lecture. Paula Scanlon was a teammate of Elliot Thomas, Leah Thomas, Liar Thomas, the swimmer. So she's going to be in Bucks County on September 11th.
I'm going to be there for that.
Oh, that man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Liar Thomas and how the swimmers tried to push back. The women swimmers pushed back, but do the people know? Because not everybody knows. Everybody says, well, they accepted it, but they did not, and they were told by the university, you're going to regret it if you keep pushing. So, and then on the 13th, I'm going to San Francisco for the Women's Declaration International. So my mission is always, like SASHA says, militant, radical, and many-pronged. We got to be like Goddess Kali. Just going to get the girls to bed and I'll return. Ella Androphobia. Okay. So that's what I'm doing. What are you guys doing the next couple of weeks?
I'm writing articles. I'm submitting them to different magazines, different papers. I'm planning abortion rallies. I'm working on a radical feminist social media website where we can convene and don't have to worry about censorship from the mainstream websites. And I'm also developing a radical feminist news channel that's going to run 24/7. And hopefully I can get some women in Nigeria to become influencers, radical feminist influencers who don't sell shitty products.
Yes, great.
That's amazing. I mean, like, you're on fire always.
You're on fire. You're on fire.
She's my partner here, female first.
Wow, so you're doing things behind the scenes and out front. That's great.
Period. We got to. And also check out our organization, Female First Florida, because we're going to be doing a lot of the work that a lot of these other organizations just aren't doing.
All right. I'm looking forward to it.
I guess send the links in the chat.
Put the links in the chat.
Definitely.
We can do that because I haven't prepared that. And also I'm jumping on here after, because I just be running around. I come from work. I'd be like, all right, I'm finna do this. All right, I'm finna do that. But it's worth it because it's worth it for women.
I'll tell you what, even if I had a job at this point, I would leave my job for this. I have never ever been one to turn my back on what a great injustice this has been going on here. Such a great injustice, such a great, Unbelievable. And the kind of people and the kind of group think, you can't even say to the doctor, well, what do you really think about double mastectomies on 14-year-olds? Without them,
they just do.
They can't answer that question.
They can't answer what a woman is. I mean, politicians can't. I mean, everybody's acting retarded.
The first African-American woman to make it to the Supreme Court couldn't say, well, oh, you know what
a woman is an adult human female. Like, she couldn't even say that. A woman is an adult human female.
Yeah.
You can't support her.
Look how easy.
If it was me, I would have just said, you know what a woman is.
Stop being ridiculous.
Stop being ridiculous.
Your mom gave birth to you is a woman.
How do you know that your mom is a woman? Your mom never told you she was a woman. So how do you know she's a woman?
How do you know she felt like a woman? How do you know your dad didn't? Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
How do you know your mom is a woman and your dad is not? Because your mom never said, "Oh, okay, well, I'm a woman, so I'm your mother." No, your mother isn't you know that your mother shares reality with you, right? Your mother shares reality with you, and she's a woman just like you're a woman. And you know what? You want to know why? Because your mother is an adult human female.
Exactly.
This is a great conversation, and I'm glad to have you all. We will do this like once a month, check up with our two groups to see how our lesbian leaders are running shit.
Check in.
What?
We'll check in every month, right, Jen?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I like to meet new members of your group, and I'll introduce you to new members from our group.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep growing and making this community run. Somebody needs to take charge.
And who knows? Maybe Roar will drive down. But a couple.
What did you say? What did you say ROAR stands for again?
I'm not really quite sure. The name comes from that old song, "I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar."
Yeah.
And then I think of like female pride, you know, like a pride of lions. And then I'm sorry, that's the way I think. And then I thought maybe it could be radical organization of women based in reality. ROAR.
Okay, that works.
All right, but it will have to change the A to a W. That's okay. We could do that. We could do that.
That's your group, okay.
Right, Jen? What do you think? Yep.
ROAR.
I know for Florida, and it's all about prioritizing women. That's what we're about.
I'm a human, I'm a woman, I'm a sister.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jen.
Thanks, Jen. No, I am woman, hear me roar. I decree that you hit the door. And I beseech my fellow man to get the hell out of my way. Something like that.
Okay, well, I like to.
It's always wonderful to be with like-minded women, and this is a point that we were talking about, is that you feel afraid, just like Jen, you said that people feel afraid to come out, but once you come out, you're energized.
Well, I told so many people like Colleen about TERF Pride, and nobody even reacted to it. Like, oh, that's an outdoor like event. No thanks.
I came from Florida to your city, and then I showed everybody that you could just go and do it. Like,
give them time.
I mean, I know Colleen was willing to put her zine out, so there's that. She wants to sell it at Union Square.
Yes,
you're definitely gonna run into trouble there.
I'll be there with her when she does that. I'll be there with her when she does that. Yeah, that's basic First Amendment. It's a printed word zine. They can't do anything.
I'd like to run our promo for Female First Florida, since we're all here.
Yes.
About it. Wasn't that dope? Wasn't that dope?
I fucking love it. I fucking love it.
Well, thank you much, ladies. We're going to do this next month. And thank you, everyone in the audience, for showing up.
Thank
I
you.
promise we can only get better from here.
We're just going to grow incrementally until we're huge monsters. Bye. Nice to meet you.
Have a good one.
Great one.
Bye-bye.